Oh, they may be playing football and the crowd is yelling, kill the referee. But no matter what the score, when the clock strikes 4, everything stops for tea.
Hi and welcome to Spill the Tea, the show for British expats and anybody who just loves all things British. My name's Ian.
And I am Sam, and I'm back, but you can expect on any show that we have features, celebrity interviews, and today we've got a great guest in Patrick Littlejohn, Restaurateur. It's going to get really exciting.
It really is. And also we've got a new special feature. We've had Eve Dawes on for the last few weeks. She came on as a guest, then she was co-hosting while we were shopping. I'm sorry, sick.
I was sick.
And now she's going to be giving us a new feature.
Yeah, BFF.
BFF, Beauty, Fitness and Fashion.
Yep. I love that.
And so that's going to be coming up a little later as well.
Yeah.
Hi.
We're getting fancy. Hi.
You're back.
I'm back in a fashion.
I was going to say, I would like to be able to say, I'm happy you're feeling a lot better, but apparently you're not.
It was a bit touch and go this morning.
You weren't going to do it to me again, were you?
That was my whole thing why I ended up here, because I thought I can't do it to you twice.
Right.
But after being sick last week, on the weekend, both Jim and I got food poisoning. And you know, that makes you feel weak like a little kitten. A newborn kitten. Oh, that's how I feel today.
So what was it then? What did you have?
I had a Greek salad.
Maybe we shouldn't... I was about to say bring it up again, but that's probably also a bad term.
Yeah, let's not bring it up again.
Yeah.
Greek salad.
Greek salad.
With salmon. And then I saw that there was a recall on
the lettuce?
On a certain kind of lettuce, yeah. So and it's weird. I mean, both Jim and I, it's the only thing we'd eaten the same that day. And about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I said, I don't feel good.
Could have been the salmon.
It could have been either.
Yeah.
And now I just don't feel like eating anything. It's like, ugh.
Which is not good.
I know it's not good.
I know we've got some treats coming in today.
I know.
We have. So, but we'll save that treat, and you can decide whether you're going to have some or not.
Yeah. Oh, what a day!
You got lippy on your teeth.
You know what?
On your teeth.
I have a really good lipstick that doesn't come off, but it's not this one.
It's not that one. That's
Is it still?
No, still one right there. No, the other one. There you go. I'm doing it for your benefit.
Maybe I'll get Patrick to bring me a tissue to make sure that I can keep my teeth.
I think you're good now.
Keep my teeth clean.
I think you're good.
So thanks for telling me, because some people would not tell you.
I could have told you before the show started.
But I don't think I would tell anyone if they had toilet paper on the shoe.
You
I don't think I would tell them that. No.
Wouldn't you just go up and step on it for them?
Because it's funny.
And so they'd step out of it? No?
No.
No. All right.
But lipstick, yeah, I would.
Fair enough.
Well, listen,
good? We've got some housekeeping. No, you're fine. It's perfect now.
I feel delirious because I'm not 100%, so who knows what's going to happen during the show.
It's just good. It's going to be one of those shows, which is the shows that we like because you're back.
You just don't know.
Yeah, I know, right?
Unpredictable.
But no, we do have some housekeeping. We do. We've got some housekeeping stuff to do. So last week we did the map of the world.
Yes, and I loved it.
But we've upgraded. Decided that whole shiny map on a wall looked a bit ridiculous. So we are doing something different, which is right here. We've got a globe. It's a small world after all.
It is great.
It's there. So, and not only that, it's blinged. So I thought about you. So our markers are actual diamantes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love a bit of flash.
Well, exactly. So we asked during the week, where are you watching from? I'm going to bring this over here.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
It's a really nice globe.
And I need to get a close up. Maybe we can get like a cat. Are you on? You're on, right? This is on. Okay, so we're going to get a close up here. So last week, actually, we had a couple of people. We're not quite there yet. We'll cut to that in a second. Hold on.
Yeah, we're gonna rattle off, aren't we?
We are going to rattle them off. So last week we had Katrina watching from Hawaii. So you've been added, and we also had. From last week, we had Karen from British Columbia, Canada. So BC, somewhere up there.
Very nice.
No, exactly where. Now we can also get information from the insights, like the statistics.
So we know where.
But we much prefer it when you tell us.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm going to do the camera thing. You're going to read some names.
I am.
And I'm going to try and find them on the map.
Now.
Look at that.
Craig Murrin, he was more like Phileas Fogg last week because he was travelling all over, but he was in Miami.
He was in Miami, but he doesn't live there,
no.
so he doesn't qualify. But we did have that on from last week. We had Orlando on there. So.
And then we've got Sarah...
Oh, by the way, we can see this. This is us, obviously.
Yes.
And if you happen to be in parts of Utah or Arizona or even parts of California, you're pretty well covered here.
You've been included.
Yeah, so that's that.
Yeah, then we've got Sarah McNeil from Sheffield.
Oh, Sheffield was definitely marked last week. That's the big pink one up there.
My sister, Cherie, Anderby Creek, that's just outside of Skegness, also known as Skeg Vegas.
Well, I think that's almost covered in the
big
green
dot.
one. Yeah.
Gillian Smith, she's Vegas, but she's a Brit. She lives here. She's an expat.
Vegas is definitely covered.
My fantastic friend, Shazzy Dixon from East London.
Yep, she's covered.
My twin sister, which I have a funny story. Well, it's not funny.
Is this all your family, basically?
A lot of them are.
Man, I even know there's a couple of mine on there too. So really, it's just our families watching.
Yeah, because Charlotte
Great.
Harrington's next.
Charlotte. Well, she's over here. I gave her one specifically
Wales?
in the Rhonda, right there. There she is.
There
She's
we
got a little
go.
pink diamante.
Sherry Cole, Kempton, Illinois.
Kempton, Illinois. I found that one. That one was over here. I think it's sort of. I think it's the pink one. That's the one. I sort of put it there. Hopefully it's that side. I mean, it's a bit of an approximation.
Yeah. Then we've got Jackie Kite, Pacific Grove, California.
Oh, I know that one's on there too. She's sort of somewhere. Actually, you know what? I was in Monterey on
on Amanda was
Friday.
saying
Yeah,
did
which
a
is
little trip,
right by Pacific Grove. So been
Then
there.
we've got Anne B. Allison, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. We got that marked over here.
April
Right up
Ellis, Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, right there.
I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Sian Devison, San Diego.
Yep. San
Jill
Diego's marked.
Pristovec in Chicago.
Chicago, big blue one.
Kate, I don't know how to pronounce this, Kate. It's a QRZ. Quers. Kate, I don't know how to pronounce it. Kate QRZ. How would you pronounce that? QRZ.
This is all you.
Same as I sounded it. Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Oh, that's down here. Yep.
Kelly Hill, Sacramento, California.
Sacramento. We had Sacramento over there.
Susan Nelson, Central Valley, California. Oh, here's another family member of yours, Matt Harrington, Eltham in Southeast London.
Elton, right here. So he's there. Yep. He's covered under that one.
Nikki Lowry, Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Oh, yeah. Got Calgary up there. That's your pink one, right?
Lucy Hawkins, Charleston, South Carolina.
Right, South Carolina.
June Delugach,
Right.
LA.
In LA. LA's definitely covered.
Victoria Ann Webster's a Vegas one.
Yep.
Susan Stapley, Seattle, Washington.
Got Seattle.
Bernadette, England. St. Paul.
Oh, yeah. Got that one in there. That's the purple one for you.
Mike Robson, Paros, Greece.
That's my cousin. There he is. He gets a pink diamante.
And Polly Vajovsky, Suzak, USA.
All right. Well, great. That's you right there. Okay, cool. Very good.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple down here. We got Colombia. We've got... Wait, hold on. We've got Chile down there somewhere. I don't know. There.
No, we had Norway,
And
didn't
then
we?
we've got Norway, Spain, of course, the UAE, United Arab Emirates.
Emirates.
And then right over here we got a microphone. We've got sorry, this is a bit wobbly if people are watching. We've got Melbourne, Australia, and New Zealand. So that's it.
Ta-da!
We're back from that one.
Thank you for watching. By the way,
Thank you
from
so much.
All over the globe.
So the goal is to get this entirely blinged out and encrusted.
Yes. Oh, it'll look amazing.
It will. I think that's kind of fun. So let us know, and then we will add you to the feed as we go. There is one other little piece of can't get my teeth in today.
You're making me look good now.
I know. This is all for your benefit. It really is. So I just had the picture there. I've just lost it. So there are some fantastic Facebook groups that are sharing our show.
Oh gosh, yes.
Around the world. So I just want to give a little shout out to those guys. So we have a graphic here. So yes, the British expats in Canada, Brits abroad, Brits who have moved to the US, Brits and Irish in Las Vegas, Brits in Florida, Brits in Chicago, Brits in New Zealand, British expats in the USA, the UK connection Brits in North America, and Keep Variety Alive, just to...
Very nice.
That doesn't say the word Brit.
But...
and then also Keith at Brits in USA, he has put a link on the page so
That's very nice.
so that people can find us if they want to.
Yeah, these groups have been very, very good to us.
They have. So if you're in a group that you want us to be able to share with, or let us know where you found us or where other places that we might be able to share. So, and of course, share yourself by all means. Please do. We want to be able to kind of let as many people around the planet know that we exist. So,
we do.
So that's most of the housekeeping.
Talking of groups, though.
Yeah.
And we're in lots of those groups ourselves. There seems to be a bit of a theme because it's coming up to Christmas, and I think people were not going back home to England for Christmas.
Right.
Quite a few people are quite tearful and sad at this time of year because it's difficult. I'm always like that. If I'm here, I'm always like that. I really have to try and go all out, so I really enjoy it. But quite a lot of people, and those groups are they've become quite a nice group for people who feel a bit lonely, or people saying, do you feel the same way? I'm really missing my family. And
no, you're absolutely right, and I think that is definitely kind of the contrast between the season. I mean, it can be fun and it can be great, but there's also, I think, there's always a side of it where you become reflective.
You do become reflective at this time of year, definitely. So, but those groups, a lot of people supporting each other, which I think is really nice.
Well said. Good point on that. I'm actually being a little festive today. And I'm actually inspired by our guest Patrick,
who's wearing his,
who's festive too. But and I'm not sure we can see. Oh, probably on this one, I think. There you go. So I have my Bob Ross happy little trees.
Happy little trees. That's
T-shirt.
right.
So I'm extremely festive today. and you were saying you think Bob Ross is now shown in the UK somehow.
Well, so somehow
it was a very
people
American
have picked
thing.
up on Bob Ross, and he's becoming a little bit of a phenomenon. Isn't that funny?
But he is. You can watch those shows and just completely relax.
Well, yeah, his voice.
It's the voice. it's like the ultimate ASMR, really.
Yeah, and to see something that's
from the early 90s.
Creative.
Oh, I just zone out.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched it in a long while, but you watch that thing and you just go.
I mean, how often do you watch anything on television that actually makes you relax?
Well,
Not
this
much.
show, obviously, people can watch it and they feel very relaxed.
Yes.
But no, it's his. You're right. It's his voice. It's got that very kind of. I'm going to paint something over here.
Yes, I love it.
Although I sound weird when I say it. It sounds a little.
I've stopped watching a lot of stressful and violent stuff. I never watched a lot of violent stuff, but I am a big fan of the Hallmark Channel. I'm telling you now.
You are.
I know the plots are
Amanda's laughing in background.
Are you the same?
That's
I
her.
love them.
All the time, I'm exactly.
First of all, I want to know where Christmas Town is because I'm moving there right now.
There's Christmas Town?
There's a Christmas Town.
Oh, good Lord.
There's always a guy who is Santa, like a secret Santa.
A secret Santa.
You don't know he's Santa, but he's making all these miracles happen. There's always a young girl who has got to work over Christmas, or a girl who hates Christmas. I have no use for it. Yeah, you get that.
Right.
You've got the oh no, the Christmas pageant is not going to go ahead, and then someone saves it. I mean, it's pretty much the same.
Do any of them just crash and burn, or do they all have?
No, they all end up happily ever after at the end.
It wouldn't be Hallmark if
it wouldn't be. And I know people were complaining about it the other day, but they were saying, "Oh, it's always the same." But you know what? There's something about it, isn't there, Amanda? It makes you feel good, cozy. Yeah, honestly.
Do you think the Hallmark Channel's funded by the sale of their cards? Or
I'd have a hard time believing it. I mean,
I wouldn't.
Based on my own, I've never.
They're like you get a
been
card and it's like a standard card and it's like $6 or $7.
Yeah, cards are
for a
expensive.
card.
They are.
They could fund the national debt off of that
If I'm
channel.
not wrong,
Off of their cards.
I think they make 30 new Christmas films every year, just about.
Oh.
And they film them in 2 weeks. See, I know all this stuff. They film them in 2 weeks. Lots of them are filmed in, I want to say Vancouver, because the weather is great.
And tax breaks.
Oh, and in 2 weeks, boom, it's done. Now, here's the only thing. Last year, they had a movie tracker, so you could track the ones you'd actually watched, because the titles all look very similar.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
I'll put one on and go, oh, yeah, I've seen this one, so...
But that's good for the acting community when they make all these Christmas movies. It's like the panto equivalent of film.
That's it. And then they have their throughout the year Hallmark films and the series and stuff like that. So they make a lot of money. I looked at it a long time ago. It's a lot of money they generate, but it's feel good.
It is.
And that's
All
what
right.
I'm into right now.
You know what? I'll watch one.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll pick one for you.
Yeah.
And then you need to watch one.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe
fair
the
enough.
most craziest, outlandish. I mean, the sets are basic on some of these films. I mean, but I kind of like that. The basicness of it, because it's really
Yeah.
about the message.
Well,
It's
exactly.
always about the message.
It is
but
about
yeah.
the message. And speaking of messages, I see. Look, we're back to our tenuous links
Yes.
and segues.
We get it all in, though.
We still have to. The one thing we had talked about briefly before was our New Year's Eve show,
Yes.
which originally
Yes.
we had this grand view to do it right here in the studio and make a whole big event, which I think is an awesome idea.
And it'll happen eventually.
But we can't be asked. Basically, is what it comes down to in terms of organising it. It's just there's not enough time.
The time is it's a big issue.
But that is not to say we are not going to do something really cool. And we just got word this morning.
This morning, breaking
In fact,
news.
I was hoping we would, so that we could tell people about it.
So we.
Yeah. Our good friend Mark McGarry, who
Yeah.
actually runs one of those aforementioned Facebook groups, the Brits and Irish in Las Vegas
Yes.
group. He messaged me this morning, and we had been talking briefly about doing our show live from McMullen's Irish Pub here in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And he spoke to the people over there, and it's a thing.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yes.
So we will be doing our New Year's Eve show. It's going to be a bit nuts.
Oh,
It might be a bit loud.
It will be.
Travis is not going to be happy about this because he runs the audio. And
Yeah.
he's going to be competing with a lot of semi-drunk.
But you'll
English,
enjoy
Irish,
the
Scottish and
atmosphere.
Welsh.
I think you'll really enjoy a 4:00 in the afternoon New Year's Eve
Yeah.
celebration.
Travis, our 21-year-old American engineer, is going to get a full-on British New Year's Eve experience at 4:00 in the afternoon. It'll be great.
It will. I think it'll be fun. So
And we've got a booth. Apparently, they're giving us a booth.
That
So it'll
helps.
actually look a little bit like this.
that helps a lot.
And then we can just get guests in.
Yeah.
We take no responsibility for what level of celebration they are at the time.
What will happen? It's always fun.
I
though,
think
isn't
there's
it?
live music. See, all
Yes,
the things
there
we were
is.
going to do, we're basically just copping out. But it's fine, and just it's going to be great. And I think we'll work on that. We'll start in June next year and
We
work
will
up
need to start early.
to do one.
The
in here.
great thing is, if you're not someone that wants to go out on New Year's Eve, you can go in the afternoon and celebrate.
Right.
Or if you're still not going out, you can celebrate with us on Facebook
Well, exactly.
from wherever you are. So
Yeah.
it's always
It'll be
it's great in the pub because as soon as that clock strikes, everybody's on their phone, FaceTime, and all their family,
Yeah,
elsewhere. And
Well, back in the UK, I mean, I do, and they're the
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe we can. We have to. They have the Big Ben thing, right?
yes.
Or maybe we'll just have to figure
They
our
do.
own
They
version
have
out.
but I think I don't know if that TV's in the back room. I'm not sure.
But Big Ben's under construction. Like it's completely scaffolded up.
It's not called Big Ben,
That's just the bell.
but you know what? It's called Elizabeth Tower.
Oh, look at you.
Just
It's
thought-
called
just thought
Elizabeth
I'd tell you that.
Tower.
Elizabeth,
I actually didn't know that.
yeah, it's got the Elizabeth Tower.
Well,
It's been under construction a long time, though, hasn't it?
we had some friends just went back there, and he was very disappointed
Yeah.
because he's the husband of a British girl, and he was like,
Right.
"I'm going to see Big Ben." No, I'm not.
No,
It's
you're not
covered
going
in
to see Big
scaffolding.
Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they balance the clock with pennies, if I'm not wrong.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, I think I'm right.
You could be right.
I think I'm right. Let me tell you what else is happening Christmas time.
Do that while I'm trying to find our show because
Wurzel Gummidge.
I heard that's coming back.
Just for Christmas,
Oh,
there is 2 TV specials, and you've got they're an hour long. It's going to be shown over Christmas on BBC One.
of course.
And you've got The Scarecrow of Scatterbrook, and then you've got Wurzel Gummidge, The Green Man. And I tell you who is Wurzel Gummidge. You know Gareth from The Office? English
Yes.
Office.
Yes.
Mackenzie Crook. He's Wurzel, but he has a turnip head.
Oh, perfect.
You know how turnips have like little roots?
Yeah.
He's got little roots.
Oh, that might be a little gross though.
It's a bit creepy, I will
But
say.
he's perfect casting for
He
Wurzel.
is. I think it'd be amazing.
Because he did the Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's
He's
right.
played the character there, so I could totally see him.
Yeah. So
playing
that's
that character.
fun. And then there's something going on with Doctor Who. Lenny Henry and Stephen Fry are going to guest star in Doctor Who.
Right.
That starts in 2020.
Okay, nice.
Isn't that great? What else have I got going on here? Since we are talking about, Christmas coming up, I think everybody should post a picture of their Christmas trees. Because mine, definitely, I have 2 trees, but one tree is solely my British tree. By the way, my sister bought me this British scarf. Thank you, Sissy. But
You got to do your festive thing, your shirt. See,
I've got a dress.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I've got a dress that I didn't get to wear last year.
We need some decorations around here as well.
We'll make it all Christmassy vibe.
We're not technically in our Christmas show yet.
No.
So,
But yeah, I think everybody should start posting pictures of their trees and their ornaments.
Sure,
and,
absolutely. Absolutely.
I've seen lots of mince pies everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't started baking a thing yet, but...
You saw my perfect mince pies.
Yes, I said, I don't even know if Ian can bake.
No.
And then you showed me a box of mince pies, and you said, whack it in the oven at, what was it, microwave?
Oven? Yeah, microwave. Come on. I mean, ovens, you have to...
Oh, I bet Patrick's cringing right now that you use a microwave.
Well, I think my secret's out. I'm not the world's greatest cook.
Do you ever cook?
Yeah, no, I do.
Okay, you do.
I'm great on the grill, and I'm actually pretty decent at some other things.
Right.
But I never give myself enough time to do it. I just don't.
It does take time.
Yeah.
Baking takes time. And baking is science, I'm telling you.
I think I would be a really good... I think I'd be a really good cook if I gave it some effort.
If you had some time.
Yeah, I think it would be something... It would be a creative outlet.
Yeah. I was just talking earlier to Amanda about, how a lot of people just don't have a social balance with their work and stuff. And that's one thing right there.
Right there.
It is important to have that social balance, see friends.
2020 social balance.
Yeah,
balance.
Do it.
That's what I'm working
Because you do
for.
have to escape from work.
You do.
It's hard though when you're self-employed. It's difficult. If that phone rings, you've got to pick it up. You can't ignore it.
I ignore the phones, but
You let Amanda do all that. Well, she's so good though on the phone.
She's amazing. The yin to my yang.
She is. She really is.
Well, why don't we move on to our first segment? We've got a segment, people.
Woohoo!
I don't even know. That's the first time we've been able to say that.
Yeah, and I think we'll have more segments that come up.
We will. Patrick doesn't know it yet, but we're going to try and hit him up for a cooking segment.
Yes.
A semi-regular. And this is what this is going to be. So, as I say, our good friend Eve Dawes has been able to provide us with something.
She has, yeah.
She just sends it in and we run it.
It's fab.
No idea what it's talking about. So it's going to be called BFF, which is beauty, fashion, fitness, or whichever way you want to do it.
Yeah.
So here it is, BFF with Eve Dawes.
Thanks for the intro. I was kind of hoping that was best friend forever, but I'll take what you said because it makes way more sense. As you can see, I've been kicked out of the studio, but I found a way to sneak my way back in and talk to you guys. As you get to know me, you'll see that I'm BS free, diet free, and very direct and straight to the point. So with that, I'm going to dive straight in and share with you a few of my tips to stay on track during the holiday season, because it literally runs Halloween through to New Year, and that's a long time to just blow out everything. But like I said, I don't believe in diets, and I don't think it should be about sacrifices. It should still be about enjoying everything. So my first trick is going to be with alcohol, because we're all going to drink, let's be fair. So I would say when you're choosing the alcohol, try and go for clear spirits. Think vodka, tequila, rum, and then when you're doing the mixer with it, if you don't want to do it straight up, which I'm kind of not a straight up kind of shot girl, I would say mix it with soda water and fresh lime juice rather than doing sodas and heavy sugary juices or cocktails, or go for a good old glass of champagne. And if you're being really good, alternate your drink with water, drink water. If you want to offset that hangover, make sure you're drinking lots of water before and after being out if you don't want to do it during the night. Another tip I would say is to try and eat before you go out, because that way you're not going out so hungry and ravenous and just grabbing everything in sight because you're hungry. And a lot of the time it's comfort eating right now as well, because it's cold and dark and we just want the yummy carbs. And then my third tip would be, once you're there, or even if you're having people over, when you're choosing your foods, yes, have all your favorite things, but rather than just having a ton of the heavy calorie-laden things, go for things like raw vegetables, crudités, the tomato salsa and hummus bean based dips. Ooh, that was a mouthful. before moving on to things like the spinach and artichoke dip and the 7-layer bean dip, because yes, they are amazing, but if you've kind of got a bit of both, it's going to balance it out more than just having a ton of everything. I can see Ian rolling his eyes in the studio at me right now, but just try it. I'm not saying don't have, I'm just saying find that balance, try a little bit of both, and it will really help keep your waistline, your health, and your energy on track this holiday season.
Oh, we're back. That was cool, wasn't it? We liked that. I was caught off guard because I'm actually watching on the feed here, and that's like 20 seconds behind. So apparently,
there is a little delay.
Exactly. So there you go. Now we know what we're supposed to be drinking, and in moderation, apparently, which clearly is not going to happen, but still.
Well, it's Ian.
Exactly. So we're going to go straight into our guest segment, of course, which we know is called What Do You Like? Our guest today, actually, we've been wanting to have him on since the beginning. We've been threatening. We've been giving him a name check pretty much every single show that we've been on. So, our guest today is a restaurateur. He's a hospitality genius, and that's my opinion, not his.
I love that.
But he is. He's had a fascinating career.
Oh, yes.
He's the husband of my business partner. He's as close as it gets to a brother to me, and really, he's the one who's kept me alive because I don't cook, and he's the one who makes all this fabulous food. So why should I cook when he's here?
Right.
I am, of course, talking about Mr. Patrick Littlejohn.
Yay!
Hello.
I'm so glad you're here.
Welcome.
It's great to be here, although I've been here, but
Yeah,
You've
never
been
been
here many
here.
times. Never been
I,
in
lo-
the
I, love,
house.
I love me some Patrick,
yeah,
you know.
A lot of people
we have
do.
a connection. It's a
We do.
baking connection, don't we?
It is.
That's
It's-
our connection.
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, we mix and match with our questions about how we do things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
And
just-
you are being festive
I've
as
been
well
very
today.
festive. This is one of my favourite.
You look all cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you inspired me to bookend you.
I like
And if
it.
it gets too warm, I can do this one too. So I don't want to see that one.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Got
see
it.
that.
This is an ode to my sister-in-law Claire,
There you
ICJ UK.
go.
So
Yeah, who
you see
also
that.
Oh, with the
gets
Santa hat on.
a name check every show as well.
No, she does.
And has yet to be on the show.
She does. We keep trying to say, get on this show, Claire.
So once we've run out of family members and friends, that'll be it.
That's
I
the show
suppose.
over. Yeah.
That's the end.
Exactly. See, now your earpiece is coming
I
out.
know. I might just take it out entirely.
You could do.
Yeah. Let me see what it looks like.
I think you've got
Yeah.
the other one in.
I might have. Let's have
That's
a look.
like the
That's
singers
when I did
do on
my-
stage.
I did-
You know when they
that's when
rip
I did my
out
little
the-
shuffle around.
You don't really need those, do you?
No.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it right now
No,
because
no.
you're here. Everyth's good.
It's it.
Everything's perfect.
Well, I brought some things for you as well.
You did?
I
I brought
know.
some homemade scones that I
Scones. Or
that I do
scones.
in a
Scones
little
or
restaurant
scones?
here in Vegas, Le Petit Cafe, that I do afternoon tea in.
Oh yeah, I want to
So
hear
I'm
about
a
that.
business partner
Yes.
over there, so we got some organic strawberry jam, we got some homemade clotted cream.
Homemade.
Clotted cream. All the Americans won't like that word, but every British will know what it means.
They know exactly what it means. I've had Patrick scones before, and I'm probably not going to eat them today, not feeling very well, but I can attest to how amazing they are. I even tried to get the recipe out of you, remember? And
Yeah.
you said, I'll leave it in my will.
Yeah, I'll leave it my will
Not
for
waiting
you.
that long.
Or watch your back.
Or my will. Yes. No, it's not my will.
Yeah.
And a few things for the show. We got some.
What?
Oh, you're
look at
kidding.
that.
Little box of
The
shortbread.
and the little Scottish dog.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
There's that.
And I love the fact that we're doing
And
mugs.
we
I
got
love
some
that.
Scottish mugs.
We're
that-
doing mugs today.
We are.
from Scotland. Yeah.
So I'll pour the tea
You do that.
into the mugs, into the tart mugs, and we've got more.
Well, I've got one more.
What?
Yeah. And we got some more tea for you.
Oh,
so,
keep
some
coming,
more
carry
tea.
on,
So-
drinking your
Oh,
tea.
Yeah, so, so
need
you
to
guys
go.
can continue the show because you need, if
Yeah,
you want
I'm
drinks.
just going
Yeah.
to drink water.
I'm
This is
ready
very
for some.
unlike me.
I'm ready for
I
some
can't
tea.
believe you're
and-
not going to have scones. Scones.
I can't do it.
Scones.
You know, I think isn't it a regional thing, scones?
It
Scones?
is. It is. It's wherever you're from, you have your own pronunciation.
And you know, there's no point arguing about them. They're just delicious. So
If
that's
you-
all you need to
if you can make,
focus on.
generally they're all from your granny's recipes. So, so.
Yeah, you know, but they get passed
They
down
do,
through,
and
you know,
you
I'll
tweak
often
them
say,
away.
you know, what was Mama's, that was our grandma, what was Mama's, you know, meat potato pie
Yeah.
recipe, and how did Mama make this? And
Well, my
If
grandmother.
you listen to the podcast, this doesn't sound good because it's just
at least it know it's real tea.
Yeah. I'm ready for the tea.
So, I know where you're from, but where are you from, and how did you get here?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the question we always ask every guest.
Originally from a place called Golspie in Scotland, in the Highlands of Scotland, in a county called Sutherland.
There you go.
All right.
And my parents now live in Brora, along with my sister. And what else about it?
Did you grow up on a farm?
I did grow up on a farm.
Okay, I thought I made that up.
My dad was out.
Let's tell you about your life.
Yeah, you know more about my life than I know about my life.
Yeah.
But what's it like growing up on a farm? I mean,
it was one of the greatest experiences because you have a very, it's urban. There's we would get called in at 11 o'clock at night from playing, because there's no iPads. You're out playing football until the wee hours of the morning, or playing Cowboys and Indians, or playing in the haystacks, or jumping in the silage pit.
Oh my gosh.
You jump in the silage pit because they'd be filling it with silage. My dad would fill it with silage.
Yeah.
And then we're jumping in from the top down into the silage and rolling around in it, in between the tractor hauls.
Isn't that dangerous?
I was going to say.
Many things dangerous.
As long as you don't fill it when you're in there.
Happy as pigs in the proverbial poop.
Pigs. Well, we did eventually. The farm had pigs, but
no, I'm just saying. But diving in the silage. I mean, it's
no poop in that. It's fresh cut silage.
All right, good enough.
Yeah,
Get an education here.
because there's no cows in the fields for cutting silage.
All right.
Because they're growing it to make the silage. So you don't put the cows on it, otherwise you'd have no grass left because they'll be eating it.
Pass us the milk.
There you go.
He knows a lot.
He does know a lot. I'm not going to question
How
his
big a farm
knowledge.
was it?
You can put some milk in for me.
Is it still in the family? The farm?
No. My dad was the head foreman, so he retired. We'd have to call him in. We should ask him. 20 years ago.
I've actually never spoken to anyone that's lived on a farm.
Yeah.
But that's a job and a half, isn't it?
It's, I think you learn from your family and your father and your mother, and I've got some.
You got some spoons.
Special spoons.
It's probably where you got your work ethic from.
Well, yeah, although I don't know what they would say about that, but but you do you get up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And then it's very regimental, the life of a farmer, and so my dad would say, so he would get up at 5, milk the cows at 6, home at 9 for a cup of tea and a sandwich, back down to the farm, back home at 12 for dinner, lunch, but it was the big meal.
Yeah.
That was the big meal, and then you'd have us back down to the farm, milk the cows, do the stuff in the afternoon. He'd be 3 o'clock home in the afternoon, back down to the farm, then back home at 6.
It's a long day.
A very long day.
It's a long day.
So now your career.
And it never stopped.
Your career in food and beverage then somehow went from being on a farm to being in the hospitality industry.
Yeah, well, I never wanted to be in the farm. Too much crap. Literally. My dad would make me milk the cows, and you get peed on, shot on, it's from inside the parlour. Or
not much of a parlour, is it?
Not really. They don't really got that name. Yeah, no, there was no beauty therapy going on with the cows.
At the parlour.
Or then he would send me down at 9 o'clock to check on some cows in the barn, and they would be calving, which is them giving birth.
Yes.
And he would know. My dad would know exactly when they'd be giving birth.
Wow.
He was, that's especially. He would just know. He knows his cows,
Yeah.
And I would come back, 30 minutes later, an hour later, covered in everything, having calved the cow.
Right.
And I would always come back in, and it would be the same answer. He'd go, "Well, did you calve then?" and I went, "Yes." Funny, you know that, So he'd always know it. So
Excellent.
So didn't want any of that. So then I started working in a local chip shop in Golspie.
All right.
And
just to frame this out, because I think it's probably good to get like an instant framing of what this has led to and from, is you started in a chip shop in Golspie, which then led you to one of the prestigious golfing resorts in Scotland, by way of then becoming the food and beverage director for the King and Queen of Jordan, bouncing to, and I'm sure this is just
Like you do.
There's ones in between that. Then to New York and heading up the plaza in New York.
Fame Plaza.
Yeah, and then to Las Vegas, where you are regional vice president for the Il Molino, small chain but exclusive chain of restaurants, and general manager of the one right here at Caesar's Palace Forum Shops, which is like the flagship.
Yeah, that's a flagship restaurant, and
of course in New
it's
York.
been here 15 years now. Actually, this is our 15th year.
Gosh, that's gone
So
fast.
from chip shop through royalty to Italian restaurants.
And I have to add in that's where in Vegas in the Il Molino I met my wife. Amanda, your business partner.
Yes, that's right. And
That's how it happened.
And as all general managers should do in their restaurant, he hit on a guest.
Yes, you hit a guest.
Basically.
I heard three English accents. We'll jump to this one. I heard three English accents, and of course I was like, oh hello, because I don't get it much, Yeah. And I heard the accents, and there was two blondes and a brunette. Luckily, I like brunettes. Which I sound.
Well, you wouldn't have wanted to end up with either of those sisters, that's for sure. Well, and she was the only one that was single.
And then,
so
Claire, her middle sister, so she introduces. So I come over and find out where that they're actually from America. They live here. Two live in Vegas and one lives in LA.
You're like, even better.
And I was like,
all my Christmases have come at once.
And Claire goes, well, this one's getting married. I am married, but this one's available. And I was like, meeting Amanda. So
nice. There you go.
The rest is history. Yeah. So
it really is. It really is.
So been around many places around the world.
Quite a journey.
Yeah. So let's take a step back a little bit. You became the food and beverage director for the King Hussein of Jordan.
Yeah, I started
and Queen Noor.
Yeah, and Queen Noor, and I started out like as assistant.
And I think we've got a picture of you and the King right there.
Yeah, picture of me.
Look at
Look
that.
at that.
I was 24 when
That's
I got this job.
amazing.
Isn't that
So I was
great?
very, very honoured and privileged to get a job
my
like that.
Where was that? Was that at the palace?
That was in Aqaba.
Oh, okay.
I think it was in Aqaba, and the king actually said, "Will you? Can you wear your Scottish outfit if you've got it?" So I put it on that night because this was New Year's Eve actually.
So how does one become that? I mean, is it in like the Craigslist type of
it's right
listing?
there, posted in Craigslist in the Northern Times in Goldsmith. So, I had worked with someone in one of the hotels I used to work in. So I started in hotels as well as the chip shop, and then I worked for a guy who got that job. And when he was leaving, he recommended me for the job.
Oh, okay.
And so I got a phone call. I was in the Balmoral Hotel in Edinburgh working, and I was working there practically 4 months. I was there.
At the Balmoral Hotel?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was...
Such a name dropper.
I love it, though. I love it.
Beautiful hotel, Balmoral. And I got a phone call in the office, and there's this stranger from London calling me, saying, "Would you come down to London for an interview?" And I was like, "For what? Can't tell you. For where? Can't tell you."
Oh.
Really enticing to come down to London for an interview that I don't know where it's for,
no
who it's
idea.
for. But
It was for McDonald's.
And he then said, and I was a poor, young manager back then. I'm now just a poor older manager. But I said to the guy, I just, I can't afford to come down there, And he mentioned a name, and I went, oh, it's intriguing if it's what I think it might be.
Oh, so they gave you the clue.
Yeah, you gave me a clue with one of the names that you mentioned who you recommended me. So he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, no, we'll fly you down." So they flew me down. So again, I think it was my first flight. Actually,
Oh, my gosh.
to anywhere, And so they flew me to London, picked me up in this car, with a chauffeur, and off to Ascot. You don't know where Ascot is, And the guy spoke to me. He was an American, and he spoke to me for an hour and a half. And I practically just said hello and goodbye, and that's all I said. I didn't say, there was nothing else. I was like...
And you got the job. It's lucky it's probably lucky you didn't say anything.
Really,
You might not have got the job.
You might not have understood me back then. Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm a little more Scottish. And then they flew me back. I never heard a word for 4 months.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was like, well, at least I got a trip out of it, Then another phone call. From this time from Jordan, and a different person, and they said, "We would like you to come out to Jordan for an interview." And I was like,
How far is that?
and I said, "Yeah, I did." I was like, "How far is that? How long is that? How long for?"
Yes.
They said, 2 days. I was like, "Okay, I'll make it work." So
Off you
off I
went.
went. Flew out there, just picked up. So I was whisked through security. There was no stamping of anything. There was
Right.
like you're just taken off the plane, greeted. When I say greeted off the plane, the door opens and someone's there asking for my name.
No.
So nobody else got off the flight except me first. So
What
I know, and I was like
experience.
24, and I was like,
Oh my goodness.
eyes were like a cat.
Yeah.
Looking everywhere. So then off to the palace, and you're driving through Amman, in this amazing, crazy, weird looking city and desert and
Yeah.
neon lights and pretty much like where we are now. But and I go there and they give me this, I meet this person that I know, Wayne Fitzharris. So he was the guy who had the job and was leaving. So he was there.
Oh, good guy.
And the king and queen actually weren't there at that time because usually they want to meet you. So they don't hire anyone without
I don't know who you
getting
are.
to meet them.
So again, you didn't speak in the interview. Your employees
King and
didn't meet
queen.
you. This is how you got the job. I think
it still gets even better.
Oh, okay.
So
All
then, yeah, maybe this is, I don't know how I got the job. Yeah. It was good looks and personality.
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly. And, telling them I was somebody else.
By the way, when Patrick tells stories, it's like Ronnie Corbett. When he used to tell us like those shaggy dog stories, it takes forever and it'll go around in different directions, but we'll definitely get back to
You'll
it.
get there
It'll be a good
eventually.
So-
It's probably because I live with your business partner.
Because she's very good
the
at
queen at the
She is.
stories. So.
Yes. So
Mine
moving
used
on.
to be more direct.
How long we got, Sam? This is just the first story. I know what else I want to talk about with him.
I think I might kick my shoes off.
Yeah. Jeez.
Just get back.
Kick in while you're at it,
Relax
will
a
you?
little bit.
Jeez.
So they give me like this instructions to do and like an event and put this event together. So it was out in the garden. This was the next day.
Oh my gosh.
So I've got two waiters to help me set this thing up with plates and drapes and chairs and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, the waiters vanished, and I was left standing, just twiddling my thumbs, and the place was half set up, and I don't know where to find anything or do anything.
Yeah.
They'd gone off to pray.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the waiters.
Right, like you do.
Like you
Oh,
do.
you
at 3
do?
6
o'clock,
times a day.
3 o'clock or whatever time.
See
It was
you
like,
later.
back there is going, and
Yep.
and then, so then that was it. So I was like, Wayne came, it's all right, come on, kid. So I didn't get to finish this setup and, to show them, I know what I'm doing or whatever, give them some idea of my expertise. And they went, okay, so let's go out. So then we went out. And Wayne showed me, different parts of Jordan that was close by, the Dead Sea, Jerash. We went out to dinners. And then there was a problem with my flight going back, so I had to stay an extra day. And of course, your arm's out the window. So I'm getting this suntan. I get back to Edinburgh, and I've got this suntanned arm.
Just one burnt
One
arm.
burnt arm and a red face. And I had to lie that I was sick. So anyway, long story short, I got the job, Ian.
No,
So-
it's already
That's-
been a long story.
It's
Don't worry about
amazing,
it.
though. It's
But
amazing.
you did. So now you're in the palace. You're in the palace. You're living in the palace.
I don't live in the palace. No, they give you a beautiful apartment in a very upscale part of Amman.
So for this story, you're living in the palace.
I was living at the back of the palace,
Right.
in the casita.
And
Yeah,
you're food and beverage director, so you have all these heads of state and everybody coming in and all different important people, and serving all this amazing food, beautiful food, all this, like I can imagine is whatever the king wants, right?
We had either a British chef who was famed British chef almost,
Yeah.
very, very, they were very high skilled people we'd employ. They'd come out, we'd interview
Right.
them, we'd get them to cook everything that they do, that their skill level
The whole
was,
repertoire.
their repertoire, and then tell them they had to cook what the king liked.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
And that was a test because he was very specific. He liked Turkish food. He likes Arabic
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
But they would come out and cook American or British food, or modern nouveau
Yeah.
cuisine, and then tell them, no, it's family food we want. So
But the king did have a weakness for a certain type of food, did he not?
he did. He loved his McDonald's.
Did he?
Yes, that McDonald's we would. If he was in London, the McDonald's we'd order from the McDonald's somewhere in London, and he'd be taken on his private plane, and he'd fly the 5 hours, and then he'd have his Big Mac when he came back to Vegas, back to Amman. But if he wanted it like, a la minute.
And there wasn't a McDonald's in
There was
in
no
Jordan
McDonald's
at
in
that time.
Jordan at this time. So it hadn't even existed. There was no franchises in Jordan. We would call a certain person in Israel, and then we'd send a helicopter to the border to pick up
You'd call a certain person?
a certain person
It's
at the time.
fantastic.
And
Was it
then,
Ronald, was it?
so we'd call the Israeli government, and then they would get the burgers, and we would then take the burgers and fly them back to Amman and into
So
the
you'd
palace.
meet is it a helicopter, right?
A helicopter.
The helicopter would meet the Israeli government official
Sure.
at
And we would
the
get the
border
burgers.
between
burgers.
Jordan and Israel. Hand over the Big Macs?
Big Macs.
Big Macs.
Big Macs, and then fly them back. We do actually put an order in different ones because we always wanted some too.
Right,
that's nice.
right.
If you're gonna
Yeah.
get some,
You gotta make sure you get your.
It gives a
your-
whole new meaning to Uber Eats, doesn't
Well,
Oh,
it?
it
was
does.
it was the first one,
It's incredible.
ultimate.
So yeah, he did like his Big Macs.
Wow. But then they opened one in Jordan.
And then they opened one. One of the royal family members bought a franchise or bought into it, and when it opened, it was, I believe, back then it was the largest one-day opening of McDonald's history. There was a line like for 60 miles. People were coming from across
60
Just
miles.
lining up.
They were coming from, like, Bedouin people were coming from far parts of Jordan to get their Big Mac.
I hope they weren't disappointed.
I
Well,
don't know. It took a long while to serve them.
I mean, you think about the beautiful food in that part of the world, though. It's kind of sacrilege. That,
But
that-
this was the thing, like
Can
the
you,
first.
Well, if you can't get it, you want
imagine
it.
being able to say, I just want this, and it appears.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
it
Yeah.
was
I
great.
want 5,000 Cadbury's cream eggs right now on this table.
Exactly. We'll call the Israeli government for
There
you.
you go. They'll
But
help us out.
I would spend a lot of money on resilvering products or buying in Limoges china. Like, we did a whole new set for one of the palaces one time,
Right.
and we spent a lot of money.
I just love all of this.
I know. Well, tell us another story that's going to upset international boundaries. Or is that because I know there's certain stories you cannot
There's
tell,
certain
which
stories
you
I can't.
told me.
I've told
but-
you, but I can't.
And I
But you
did
can't.
ask.
I
I did
can't.
actually ask whether we could share some
What's
of those
the
stories.
craziest request
And he shut
you've
me
ever
down
had,
on
would you
a
say?
couple of them.
Well, craziest request: have dinner on top of a mountain in Wadi Rum.
Okay.
A what now?
So Wadi Rum, the Moon Desert,
Yeah.
is in Jordan. So actually, this was my first day in Jordan.
No.
I flew in, hit the 30, 40 degree heat at nighttime in Jordan. And I was like, whoa. They said the king and queen are down in Aqaba. We're going to fly you down. So they flew me down, got to Aqaba, and then they said, oh, we're doing dinner on top of Wadi Rum Mountain. Like, I went, oh, okay. So how many people? 6. So this was a dinner for 6. So everything was flown up by helicopter from the palace in Amman, and Bedouin tents, kitchens, toilets,
Everything's
china,
set up, ready to
everything
go.
ready to go for the, His Majesty, Her Majesty, and I think it was 4 guests.
Were you on the clock
Amazing.
at that point, or you
Well,
were just?
you have a time. Yeah, there's a time limit.
No, I mean this was your first day, though,
that's-
so
yeah.
you were technically
can't believe
working.
that
As soon
was
as
your
you're, as soon as I stepped in the country, I'm
That was your
working.
first day.
That was my first day,
Wow.
and then they said, "Do you want to sleep on the mountain tonight?" So, in the stars. So
Oh my
of course,
gosh.
you do that.
How much time did you spend with the king and queen? Do you get to know them as friends or anything like that, or is it just work relationship?
Actually, you get to know them more than you think. They get to know you more than you think that you know them, or they know you. In the latter, the first year
Yeah.
is getting to know you. Then the second year, if you get to stay, because it's yearly contracts,
Oh, okay.
so not everybody gets to stay, and your contract's renewed, and then they get to trust you a little more and
Yeah.
more. And once I was there 4 years, so I had a good relationship with all of them, the kids and the present king. I used to barbecue with because he didn't know he was going to be king.
Right.
He was way down the line, King Abdullah. So anyway, back to the king. I was called one day by the royal court saying the king wants to see you. And I was like, that's unusual. And I was like, who was I with last night? What did I do? I get to the royal palace and they say he's upstairs in his family quarters. And he goes, Patrick, this is how he's talking.
Right.
Patrick, do you know anyone here? And it was the Dunblane massacre. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he said, do you have any relatives there? Do you have any family? We will go right now.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
whoa, that's
It still gives me,
amazing.
still gives
Oh,
me
yeah.
tingles, still
Me
gives me tingles,
too,
when I
yeah.
tell that story.
So he was so tuned in. He was
knew,
wanted
like,
you.
he knew, you're from Scotland. You have, who you are in his family.
And he took it upon
There's
himself.
a lot of people that work for him,
Nice and,
But he took it upon himself to
know
involve
me,
me.
to call me, and say, and we would go.
And
Right.
I'd heard that
Right.
he was a real, very nice sweetheart, basically. A very nice man.
The first day I met him, it was like say I have to jump. He came down the back stairs, the security stairs. He used to like to do that and make the waiters jump. Because as soon as he walks in, you're like,
Hello.
and they're all like Sudanese waiters, very friendly, lovely guys. And anyway, I got introduced to him, and I was maybe a week or 2 weeks later after me actually arriving.
Right.
Because when I went up to Wadi Rum, I didn't meet them then because it was the first day, so it was like,
Right.
you stay in the background,
Right.
Just stand there, do your job, stand.
Gosh, it's amazing.
And the king comes down the stairs and goes, "Welcome to my family."
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
I
that's
love him
nice.
already.
And that was
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was his first, and I was like,
Well, he's dead now.
Well,
"Anyways,
yeah.
have some more water."
Haven't we
to
had a
go."
couple of weird dead things, me and you?
Yeah, well, yeah, probably.
We've had a couple of weird
You
things
haven't
on
had
the
a scone
show.
yet.
I'm looking at the scones and thinking,
I
why
think
are we not
that's
eating them? I think
fascinating.
we're being polite to
You
Sam.
know, you're talking about the silver and the china,
thank you.
and you see, I absolutely
We pre-cut
love
them for
all
you.
that pomp and
Oh, you did?
circumstance.
Look at
I
you.
absolutely love it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I bet it's one heck of an education.
Yeah, you've got to learn. It is a family, but it's run like a hotel.
Oh, I see.
But it's a family, and that's what you always got to remember. It was a family.
Yeah.
So even though, and it's the way they wanted it. You may think you have a better, smarter way of doing it, but that's their way.
That's their way.
and it's their their heritage, their country, their
Yeah.
house, and you just got to respect that,
Yeah.
as well. And
Right.
and the Queen was lovely. We had a good relationship, a very good relationship, the Queen and I, because she helped me come to America.
Is that how you got here?
That was one way. I got a plane as well.
It helps when you
yeah.
get that kind of referral
Yeah.
on your visa application. Oh, it's from a queen.
Well, yeah.
Helps.
Like we were playing. She was playing tennis, and I was serving her something, taking something out to her. And she goes, "Do you have a job yet? Out in America?" And I went, "No, not yet." She picks up the phone, makes a call, and it was like, okay.
Is that how you ended up
That's
at the plaza?
incredible.
Yes, in a way, recommendation.
Yeah.
Crown Prince bin Tulwalil owns it, and,
okay.
and you speak to him, his people, and then make sure that when I put my resume in, I get the job. So.
You've had some nice people
Hey,
referring
listen,
you on.
I was
haven't
about
you?
to dive into this, and I know I was going to do it wrong because it's a case of whether you do.
It's
the
regional,
jam
isn't it?
and
Again,
the
regional.
It's again.
I'm going to defer to your.
Well, I believe how you want to.
How do they do it in Devon? They do it
Devon is the jam first, and then the cream.
and then the cream.
And then Cornwall is the cream, then the jam, which is the way the Queen does it.
So we're going to offend somebody just by definition.
Why don't you do half and half?
There you go.
that's true.
Then everybody's happy.
But what is it? So
There's a clotted cream, butter. Amanda likes butter,
Well,
jam, cream. And
do I need to do the butter as well?
you could
or just
do whatever you want doing.
Because I think
it
I've
all.
only ever done the cream and the jam.
It's your life.
Do it all.
It's your life. Clog an artery.
Do whatever you
I believe this is healthy butter, by the way. This is earth balanced vegan butter. So.
Don't mind me. I'm
I,
just going
as I say, I've not been able to pry out the recipe from you. Maybe on a drunk New Year's Eve I
Maybe.
might be able to. But your scones, I could say scones,
Schoon.
they have a little crisp to the outside of them, but they're so
Yeah.
soft in the inside. What's the secret to that? Is it the temperature of the oven? Is it?
Temperature oven is part of it. It's also part of the ingredients, and also not finishing it like other people finish it. So you know how you do your tatties?
Yeah.
When you
Oh,
buff
you
them?
rough them up a little
Rough
bit.
them up? Well, this is a similar process, but
Oh.
it's not quite the
He's
same.
not going to fully reveal, though. You know that. He's not gonna... going to reveal it entirely.
No.
I don't know how you rough up a scone. I've got to figure it out now. To rough up a scone. I'm just, honestly, this is killing me, but it will kill me if I eat it.
Well, yeah.
It will kill me.
It'll add a whole new dimension to the show if you eat this, probably.
Yeah.
This is probably what will make you feel better, Sam. So.
Let's not tempt that one, shall we?
I know. It was a bit touch and go this morning. I thought, I can't
Yeah,
let you down
I feel
a second
bad,
week.
though,
No, don't feel bad.
Is it all right?
This is Brexit.
Is this not?
I'm ploughing through it. No, I'm good, honestly. It's not
keep
putting me
leaving.
off. No, I just can't eat it.
Travis is waiting for some of this.
Tea and a scone.
All right. While we're doing that, I can't even talk. I think it's the anticipation of this.
Of eating this, right?
Yeah, it is. So Heather's on the feed. We've had a comment from her. Love the reindeer jumper.
Thank you.
See, you got your credit there. And then
Funky Christmas jumper.
So yeah, Sandy said don't forget the tea. So we've had a mug already, so we're about to get seconds.
Yeah.
Seconds.
Declan says this is a gossip show. It's like an international revealing of secrets to gossip shows.
Right. Don't be
Claire's
tea.
on. Who else we got going backwards this way?
Amanda, would you like some?
Oh, Sue helped her brother decorate his Christmas tree yesterday. Are your trees up? Your tree must be up.
And Sue also loves the Hallmark movies. We're going back to Hallmark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is your tree up, Ian?
No, not yet.
I've got 2 trees up.
I got 2. I've got a small one that's all my British ornaments and what have you.
Sandy says, well, she missed you last week, but she says, welcome back, Sam.
Isn't she great, Sandy?
She is.
I was trying to post my tree, but I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, and Linda's from Toledo, Ohio, so I'm going to add
that's a new one.
I'm going to add a sparkle.
That's a new one.
And Gabriella is in Chile, which we have.
Chile.
We have a mark for Chile, but
Can you read
tell us
that?
where specifically, Gabriella, and then we'll add that on there.
No, I'd have to look at the translation.
With or without glasses.
We
no.
have one in Arabic, which I can't read right now.
Gabs, she said cream should absolutely go first, then the jam. I do jam because I feel like the cream doesn't stick. I feel like the jam sticks on there, and then the cream
depends on the quality
sits
of cream,
on
right?
top. Well, it does as well. That's true.
I haven't tried. See, I'm trying
It's very different if it's like whipped cream.
Also, it depends on the scone. You know, if the scone holds up.
Yes, if it's not falling apart.
mess.
Yeah.
I'm spilling the cream.
We're getting very, very technical.
We are. We're gonna. Yeah.
What else are you going to bake for Christmas?
Well, we're here this year, so
Are you even doing a bit? Because you do the most amazing meals for feeding the 5,000.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving was just a mere 24.
Your quiche,
And it's
that crust,
impressive.
unreal, amazing, absolutely amazing.
Your pavlova's great.
Pavlova.
I have to give credit to his mother.
Oh,
Why do you think that's what I mentioned?
So he's pitching, making sure. Hello, Anne, if you're watching.
I'm trying to think. I like to bake at Christmas.
I'll give you the pavlova recipe.
Oh, thank
I've got
you.
the rights on that one.
Thank you.
I do like to, certain sponges and, and pavlovas. I like to keep fairly light.
Yeah.
Because everything can be pretty heavy.
I've done, but
We do, we always do what we call. I've got some. I've got some more of them. I've eaten one already.
I haven't got it yet.
Because Thanksgiving is usually it's like the dress rehearsal for Christmas, as we call it.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do another turkey. I don't know if we do another turkey. I haven't decided on, what we're going to do.
I'm trying to remember what the percentages of people that forget to take it out of the fridge for a start off.
Or forget to take out the giblets from the inside, instead, which I've done. I've done it.
Oh, did you just go to heaven?
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to scone heaven? Yeah, he's not going to talk to us now for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
It's all you guys
I mean,
know.
I'll be doing my mince pies. I have a few people that request. Well, I have a lot of people that request them, but I want to give them to certain people because I don't want to be a slave.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy making my mince pies and my crust and everything all from scratch.
Back when I grew up in Scotland, we did used to make the clootie dumpling and make a Christmas cake. We make a Christmas cake a few months before. And it sits.
Yes.
Then it sits.
And then
you marzipan it, and then you ice it near Christmas.
That's right.
And that was the treat was doing the hard icing.
Oh,
and then
it's the best.
and it's just what would you like? More? Yes. Oh my goodness. It's you. No lunch for you.
Yeah,
And it's just that all the different levels of flavors,
Now, for anyone that's watching that has no idea what our Christmas cake is, tell everyone what's in our Christmas cake. And why we love it so
Booze.
much.
Well,
Just booze.
there's a lot of booze, a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
A ton of fruit. It's mostly fruit when you hit it.
Yeah,
if
it's a heavy batter
a heavy
when that goes
cake.
in.
Obviously your flour mix, and then did you ever? Well, in the cluty dumpling, or did you ever put a sixpence?
Yeah, wrapped in foil sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes we put it in the Christmas cake or in the cluty dumpling, so we'd always have it.
And I know people go, fruitcake.
And then
no, it's not. It's not.
It's a beautiful,
It's
balanced,
an amazing cake.
balanced cake.
Yeah.
It's very, and there's. It sounded like
Somebody just rang the doorbell, which you'll happen to notice it was Big Ben.
Big Ben. Which
This is a little slice of England in
What
this
was the
studio.
chance?
which I can tell you, Big Ben will chime on New Year's Eve.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do a
digital?
digital. It's
A recording?
but it's it's linked up to Big Ben's bell, and they
Hit on it with a spoon.
it's pretty much like that. But they do make it ring on New Year's Eve. So
Oh my god, it won't be the same otherwise.
I know,
Just wouldn't.
not for the revelers.
Yeah, marzipan. Do you make
marzipan.
Do you make marzipan from scratch?
Yeah, we used to. Yeah.
Wow.
But not anymore.
I love that. And but there's a thing though. I know there are so many easy ways that you can buy your pre-made puff pastry and stuff like that, but I actually enjoy making things from scratch.
Yeah, me too, and that's why you like my quiche.
I love your
Because
quiche.
the quiche was a short crust,
It's-
from scratch.
Unreal. And I still don't have the recipe for that either.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a show going on here? I'm completely tuned out. Over
But
here.
I'll
the second one.
I'll do. I do
What do you-
rosemary, orange and rosemary shortbread.
Oh,
I
right,
do
that's
that.
nice.
We got a little visitor, and mince pies, of course. Trifle from scratch.
Yeah.
I've never made a Christmas pudding.
Yeah. Like when we go to usually LA to Amanda's sister, we almost like have a little bake off. We did one year. We did like who had the best trifle, trifles or
Right.
cakes. So we had I think we had 4 cakes, going between us for like just 8 of us.
And isn't it funny at Christmas where leading up to Christmas, everybody's buying their chocolate, their biscuits, and this, but you have your special Christmas cupboard. Don't go in the Christmas cupboard until it's Christmas. But exactly, what is the minute? What is the date that you can go in the Christmas cupboard? That's what I want to know. Or the drawer, the fancy drawer. All year.
This lot. Oh,
Well,
we're making such a mess.
We start.
Crumbs on the mic.
I do like.
This
I do
lot
like
don't
this.
ever end Christmas.
Yeah.
They have a Christmas tree outside of their front door all year round.
I like that.
With lights.
I like that.
I added extra lights as well this
I
year. So.
love
The
that.
one inside usually stays up until about April, right?
Yes, and
It makes you feel happy.
I only took it down. I only took it down this year.
His birthday decorations.
tree.
His
Still
birthday's in July, and the birthday decorations are still up.
I love
no,
it.
they're down now. They're
I
down.
love
But
that.
I had to
Last
make room.
week?
I had to make room for the Christmas decorations.
Oh, yeah.
And isn't it funny? You buy things at Christmas that you could eat all year round,
Well, yes.
but you don't. It's
they,
it's almost like it dilutes the experience if you were to eat it all year round. It's just something you get so excited about. Like matchmakers.
yes. Well, they come out with a.
What's that?
What's that?
Echo-
Don't use
What's
language
yours?
like
A
that
bit
on this.
rude.
This is a family show. You can't say echo fecking cake on.
I came home with some Ethel Feckens the other day.
Did you know?
Yes. Could you pass the cream?
Oh, you echo fecker.
But yeah, what would you like that's special at Christmas? You're looking forward to?
I don't know. I setting fire to the Christmas pudding is always kind of fun.
Yeah, that's always fun.
The aforementioned pavlova, which Heather agrees is divine.
Divine.
And so does Sandy. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever he's making.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Is what I look forward to.
Whatever I'm making,
And we
he's
love
going
the
to enjoy.
after eight mints.
But
Don't
see,
we?
look, Big Ben again.
Ian's fix. See, I know one of Ian's favourites is the Terry's
Chocolate
Orange.
chocolate.
Whack
So-
it and unwrap it.
So here's the thing. My mum gets me that. Well, me and my brothers that every year, and we I do like it, but only because we've been beaten into submission because she thought we liked it, so she got it every year regardless. Until one of my brothers actually said, "I don't really like this,"
Oh,
but
really?
didn't want to say anything, so it just becomes a
50
ongoing
years later.
tradition.
Now we can. That's
Yeah.
that off the Christmas list, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
Well, we love that Quality Street, don't we? We love a nice
We do.
tin of Quality Street. I paid £7 for 2 big tins of Quality Street in England, and I think there's something like $25
Oh my
they are
over
ridiculous here
here.
at the international
That
market.
is.
I mean, I'm having a hard time believing that import duty is really that high. I mean, come on.
It's
You should have
Yeah,
seen us in Tesco. We were
loading it.
out of control. My brother-in-law kept saying, "I can't believe what you're gonna do with all that stuff." It's all going back with this.
anything to declare. Yeah.
Well, you know what? They made us take all of our chocolate out because when we landed, normally you pick up your case and you throw it in the next thing and off you go to your next flight. Oh no, we had to go through security checkpoint all over again, which was a real drag. But we'd got all the chocolate with us, and they took all the chocolate out. They said anything that's in that particular plastic wrapping, they said has to come out. They swabbed it all, and I'm thinking, I bet they're taking a few. I'm getting all stressed out. I'm not going to get all the
Don't
chocolate.
take the curly whirlies.
And they were doing it to everybody. It was all the Brits coming back. And I said, I'm sure we're not the first. He goes, we're swabbing chocolate all day,
I got stopped with a haggis one time. Years ago, coming to Vegas.
But that's got to violate various
it did.
international...
It was certainly. And when he said, what is this? I says, a haggis. And he says, what is a haggis? And I told him. And he says, what are you going to do with that? And I says, eat it. And he goes, just take it.
He was mortified.
And he was like,
he was like, if you plan on actually consuming that,
it's all yours.
then
So
you
he let me
deserve
keep
it.
it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Looking for
That's
you.
got
But
But it always says, are you bringing in this?
meat
Probably
you can't bring in meat products.
That's everything on that list.
Yeah, I was waiting for the haggis.
We're like, only chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
really.
you
How many
get scared they're going to
pounds?
take it away.
You're not allowed to take Cadbury's. So, there was that law, right?
The mad cow disease.
Yeah. Well,
That was that whole thing, wasn't it? Where you
there
couldn't
was
at one
mad
point.
cows, but they banned bringing real Cadbury's in because Cadbury's has secured the copyright, and they changed. They wouldn't allow the British version to come in because they want to. They want to keep it their own recipe.
Which I don't like.
I don't like it. It's waxy.
I once, oh my gosh, I was at Costco. We found a tub of Maltesers and we're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Then I started eating them. I thought, these are disgusting. And Jim turned around to me and he goes, these are disgusting. And I said, what is wrong with these? And like you said, the recipe's different for the chocolate. Without even saying what it was that was disgusting, I texted our friend Ben and I went,
Yeah.
and I didn't even send a picture. I just went, oh my gosh. I don't know why I didn't say they were Maltesers. I said, I bought them from Costco. They were disgusting. And he wrote back, Maltesers? Because he'd done the same.
There was more teas than
They
malt.
were so bitter, you couldn't get rid of the taste in your mouth. It was disgusting. So you have to be careful. You've got to flip over and you've got to look and read.
the
Like, I
labels.
can't eat Cadbury's cream eggs here. They're horrible. They're just sugary nightmare.
they are.
But yeah,
Unlike the real ones, which have no sugar in them at all.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. There's
Yeah.
that fondant in the middle.
It's
though.
different.
Here it's just like, it's like it's melted.
Yeah, it's like this congealed glob of stuff.
But there are those little things that, it makes Christmas, doesn't it? It's your shortbread, it's your puddings, it's your after eight
It's all
mints.
that. It's all that.
Yeah.
So the question is, what tips do you have for people this holiday season in terms of preparation for their holiday
I think
foods?
part of it is be prepared. With what how many people you got coming.
Me personally, no.
You certainly.
Don't look at me. But I'm saying for those people who actually do want to, who are celebrating, are doing their thing, whatever it may look like.
We'll do a little health question. Don't indulge too much, but indulge just enough.
Oh, we've got that coming up in a couple of weeks. We've got a whole report on that.
When I'm doing dinner parties, it's you have your list. Be prepared. Do stuff you can do ahead of time, and because I'm all about timing. I want it all to be coming out. If it's the green beans not mushy or still crispy, which they were this year.
Yeah, do fresh. Don't buy canned beans.
When I did my turkeys, I did 2 and I brined them, which takes a lot of the. If you brine your turkeys, you can never go wrong. I think because it just adds the moisture into it. You'll testify how they were this year.
Amazing.
So not dried
So
out.
I say so myself.
But yeah, being prepped, then you won't be as stressed.
Yeah, it's being ahead of the game, doing stuff a few days in advance that can be done a few days in advance, and you build up to the final day, and then you just pull it all together.
But I have cooked a turkey, and it's like so stressful because it's a case of what's underdone, what's overdone, where's that sweet spot in the middle that it's right, and it seems like it takes a lot longer, and then you're stressing out. So I mean, all right, you have the meat thermometer.
You have your timers. I don't use a meat thermometer. But
you don't.
No.
This is all about weight versus time.
It's time.
Per pound.
Touching per pound, if it's meat, it's
And
feeling
you are a
it.
professional. That does help a little bit.
I'm a front of house professional, but I've learned from many chefs over the years. I watch them and see how they cook things, and the turkeys, again, it's timing. Everything's timing, Like baking is a science. You can.
It is. Don't be messing around.
If you can't mess around with the baking because it is a science. The measurements.
Trust me, I'm not going to mess around.
You'll not get the reaction.
Yeah, you can bring back another piece of food or change it. If it's overcooked or undercooked, you can dice it up and do something else with it to cover up your mistake.
Yeah.
But when you have a mistake in baking, it's in the bin. So,
yeah, it is, and I've done that before. My worst mistakes were trying to make gluten-free desserts. In the end, I went forget it, and I went and bought one.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Just go glutinous.
I went to a friend's party, and they said, "Can everybody bring a gluten-free dish?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that was not just gluten-free, vegan as well.
Oh.
It was a nightmare.
That's even more difficult.
That was very difficult.
So now you're after we do our show on New Year's Eve, and I see Mark's actually tuned in, finally watching. There you go. We've already given you a name check, so
yeah,
you've already been on. So once we've been down at McMullen's doing our show there, that evening I will be over at Il Molino.
You're coming over.
Yeah, because you'll be working, won't you?
Because you have this great terrace that overlooks the Las Vegas Strip, and it's kind of like. They close off the strip, and there's like 400,000 people all in on the strip there, and it's carnage. It's like Trafalgar Square.
Yeah.
And I would like to avoid that, so we go on the balcony, which is above, overlooking.
Yeah.
And we're looking down on the Minions.
You're probably fully booked already, aren't you, or close to it?
Actually, this year I'm very close to being fully booked.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I did something a little different.
And you get lots of major people coming in. And
well, you got everybody and it's always very important if Vegas people, if you are new to Vegas, you have to stick to one side or the other of the strip.
That's right, because you can't.
Because you can't cross.
You can't get across.
You cannot.
So they close up all the
roads.
roads.
Moving around, and you're coming on east side or west side. That's the side you're going to stay on.
Yeah.
But we're going to be on the west side and overlooking the Minions.
Yeah, we are on the west side.
Yeah, on the west side.
Yeah,
glad
which is good because we live on the west side, so we can get out.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
it's just nice to because the view of Il Molino looks at the Venetian, and they have one of the best.
The
fireworks
displays
and
everything
in the city, and it's right there. So we're gonna have a nice time.
It's gonna be an exciting end of the year, I think, for everybody.
Well, I mean, thanks very much for coming in and sharing. I mean, I know we could talk for another.
We probably could.
You've probably got stories galore.
There's a few.
No, we've only got 3. They just take so long. I'm just kidding. You know that.
Is he the brother you never wanted? I know you said he's like a brother.
He is like a brother. Yeah. Sometimes I want to beat him up, but
Yeah, exactly.
So I just feed him.
It keeps me happy.
Keep it quiet.
So Claire's what she's saying. Apparently the royal crest has to be on the back of the chocolate to make it authentically from England.
Mm.
And did you know if it says on the where's the shortbread? Did you eat that too? Did you know the shortbread thing?
No, it's up here.
If it's got the
royal crest,
a royal thing on the back, the Queen actually does. Either use or eat or whatever.
Is there one on the side? Or?
No, it's written in Chinese.
That's good.
Oh, actually,
got the good one.
You know Tunnocks?
Yeah.
It's written in Chinese.
The guy just got some kind of, what was it?
He doesn't change my Tunnocks, does he?
Like a...
Tunnocks is great.
Oh, it just died. My phone just died. My thing just died. He got some award. I want to say maybe an OBE, the Tunnocks man.
I love Tunnocks.
Do you know what Tunnocks is? Well, they have a few things.
Yeah, a few things.
Yeah.
But
How do you even describe that?
a crispy caramel wafer
That
chocolate
sticks on your
tooth.
Yeah,
But
and then the Tunnocks cake that's got the marshmallow in it and whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he won some big. I think it was an OBE. Not won it, but he was awarded.
Well, as he should.
Isn't that great?
And by the way, I'm starting to get a bit worried now.
Yeah, I don't feel great.
No, not about you. I'm always worried about you. I think we're actually getting stalked at this point because guess who's just turned up in the studio? Yes. Is Eve Dawes. It's not enough that she gets to be on the show for the last 3 weeks. She's turned up. There is a reason why she's here, actually. But as far as we're concerned, it's just for the scones. Scones. I'm confused now.
She saw them on Facebook Live.
Here and share his
she saw them on Facebook Live and she said, I'm going down there for a scone. I got myself a scone.
She's back again. I mean, this is getting ridiculous now.
It is. We're going to need a bigger booth.
We're
You're going
gonna
to give me
a key to the door.
We're going to need a bigger booth.
Yeah,
we're going to need a bigger
Getting cozy.
We are.
Oh my gosh.
So that's so thank you very much for that
Yes.
your report, by the way.
Thank you for having
That was great. And so you're going to be doing a regular thing for us?
I am, yes.
I love
Next
that.
week I'm going to do some festive makeup. So we break it up, do not just
Nice.
food.
Nice.
How to use the glitter and not get it everywhere. And
Oh, that'd
I know
be
the
nice.
guys are going to love that
Oh, yeah.
segment.
Because it's
Well,
time of year
absolutely.
where, for a lot of people, they don't dress up all year, but they will dress up for Christmas and New Year and give them some ideas.
Exactly.
I love that. Makeup
Exactly.
And then some
fashion.
New Year resolution tricks to keep them all year and not just for a day or two, you know,
Day
first
or
week.
two. It's fine.
Day or two's all right.
Yeah,
It's
so
totally
true.
fine.
Yeah.
And you better just be back on it by next week.
I'm gonna go home and lay with my dogs. They're the best nurses ever. You know, when I was sick last week,
Right.
my twin sister was sick as well.
Uh-oh.
So
See, it's the
she's
synergy.
messaging
Twins thing.
me. I'm messaging her back. You know, pathetic.
Maybe she got food poisoning. You didn't.
Maybe I just felt
That's
it.
it.
Well, we've had that before.
Right.
We've had that before where I was in a bar somewhere and I said, oh, I've got to go.
And I drank too
And I went,
much,
I've got to
and I fell
go.
over.
And they go, why? And I said, my twin sister's hurt herself. And I just,
Oh,
back,
oh,
I did it
wow.
back before cell phones.
Right.
And,
You wrote a letter.
and I knew she was working. So I ran up. It wasn't far from the bar that I was in. And I ran up there and she had hurt herself. You know what she'd done? It was a freak accident. She'd fallen and her elbow, because in our staff room, we sit on the floor and drink, you know, coffee and whatever. She'd fallen and her elbow went straight inside.
Oh.
Thing.
Oh.
Yeah. And she injured herself quite badly.
Was she
actually.
taking the temperature
So
of the
little,
coffee?
yeah, like you do with the baby. The milk's bath warming up.
Is this beer okay for me?
Yeah, she was one of those like WWF.
Nice.
Whoa!
That's funny.
But I knew instantly. And then you just know. And even I'm still surprised at our age.
That's
We're
bizarre.
just surprised. We're twins, you know.
That's
and-
bizarre.
but it's, I was like, I don't feel very well. I don't feel very well. Useless to each other, really.
Well, please try to be more
Yes,
useful. I mean,
yes.
you've done fine, but I just felt bad.
No, it's good.
I'll
It's
leave you.
good.
You can take a couple home.
You got to be a little smart. We'll do that because
yeah,
Jim
they'll
will love
keep-
him as
yeah.
well.
They'll keep for a day or two.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
They will, they
You can
will.
take the cream jam.
Oh, he's
No,
less pain.
no,
No, he's like, no, it's mine. It's
That's
mine.
staying.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
I
Feel
know,
better.
I know. I said,
Thank
can't
you,
wait to get home
Patrick.
with my
It's been
dogs
great
in
to be
bed.
here.
Thanks to Eve for your report and
just showing up.
showing up. And I think we've got pretty much the show right there.
Oh, we are
I hear
done.
the music. That means we're
Yeah, well
definitely done.
Thank you for spilling the royalty with us today, Patrick.
All right.
It's been a fun day.
Take care. See you next
Bye.
time.
Bye.